Good morning from Mission Control in Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room as 3 crew members aboard the Soyuz MS-25 are in the home stretch of a 2-day journey to reach their destination, the International Space Station. Welcome to our coverage of the rendezvous and docking of Soyuz MS-25 to the International Outpost, a journey that began with a launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan 2 days ago. Here in Mission Control in Houston, the Orbit 2 team of flight controllers on console at this hour, led by Flight Director Diane Daly. She is joined on console at this hour by spacecraft communicator Costa Mavridis, who's talking to the Expedition 70 crew aboard the International Space Station. To his right is Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Aki Hoshide, who is a Soyuz veteran, there to lend a second set of eyes and ears on Soyuz operations in the final phase of today's rendezvous that will bring to the International Space Station the Soyuz crew, led by NASA's Tracy Dyson, along with Soyuz Commander Oleg Novitsky and Belarus spaceflight participant Marina Vasilevskaya. The journey of Dyson, Novitsky, and Vasilevskaya began on Saturday from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, 2 days behind schedule, after an initial launch attempt on Thursday resulted in a last-second launch abort because of a low voltage reading in the first stage electrical system of the Soyuz 2.1A booster. Batteries in the first stage were replaced, and on Saturday the journey did begin on time at 7:36 a.m. Central Time, 5:36 p.m. Baikonur time, with a flawless liftoff from Pad 6 at Site 31 at the Cosmodrome. The Soyuz booster arced out over the northeast to an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. 8 minutes and 46 seconds after launch, the Soyuz spacecraft itself, with the crew on board, separated from the third or upper stage of the Soyuz booster, and the chase began to reach the International Space Station. The orbital mechanics of the positioning of the International Space Station on Saturday relative to the Soyuz launch resulted in a 2-day rendezvous rather than the most recent type of rendezvous that the Russians prefer, that being a 2-orbit rendezvous. But in the 2 days that have following this launch from Baikonur, all of the rendezvous burns to have the Soyuz match the altitude of the International Space Station, and then this morning close in to the vicinity of the space station itself. All of those burns did perform perfectly, and at this hour the Soyuz is about 10 kilometers away from the station, closing at a rate of about 12 meters per second, right on course and right on time for a docking that is scheduled just 51 minutes from now at 10:09 a.m. Central Time, 11:09 a.m. Eastern Time. Today's operations are being overseen by Russian flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow in the town of Korolyov. You're looking at a view from the balcony in the cavernous International Space Station Flight Control Room in Korolyov. They are in charge of all of the Soyuz operations and the communications with the crew on board the Soyuz from now through docking, that again is scheduled about 50 minutes from now. About 15 minutes from now, Flight Director Diane Daly here in the Mission Control Room in Houston will go around the room and take a poll of her flight controllers to get a go, no-go for docking. 10 minutes later, the fly-around of the Soyuz in the vicinity of the International Space Station will begin. This will be about a 51-degree fly-around of the International Outpost to precisely align the Soyuz and its forward docking probe with the Prishal node module. That is the port of call today for Soyuz and its 3 occupants. The Prishal module is on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. Once contact and capture begins, the docking probe will be retracted to form a flush surface between the Soyuz and the Prishal module docking port. A period of relative motion will dampen out between the 2 vehicles before hooks are closed on both sides of the docking interface, first the Soyuz, then the Prishal hooks, to form a hard mate between the 2 vehicles. A series of leak checks will ensue on both sides of the docking interface, with hatches scheduled to open at around 12:40 p.m. Central Time this afternoon, 1:40 p.m. Eastern Time. That will allow Dyson, Novitsky, and Vasilevskaya to float aboard the International Space Station, and for Dyson to begin a 6-month mission on the orbital outpost. Once the hatches are open this afternoon, there'll be a brief opportunity for some welcoming remarks by the crew as they talk to dignitaries who will be gathered in the balcony at the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov. There'll also be words from spacecraft communicator Kosta Mavridis here in Mission Control up to Tracy Dyson. The Expedition 70 crew, as you see from left to right, includes...
We hardly copy you, Moscow.
Дальность 9,5, скорость минус 13,4.
And the Expedition 70 crew, which will transition to Expedition 71 in about 12 days, includes Alexander Grabenkin of Roscosmos, Tracy Dyson, Mike Barrett, Nikolai Chub, Matt Dominic. The station commander is Oleg Kononenko, and NASA astronaut Jeanette Epps. Laurel O'Hara, who is not pictured here with the Expedition 71 crew, is because she will be departing on April 6th with Oleg Novitsky and Marina Vasilevskaya. Novitsky and Vasilevskaya basically are a taxi crew. Vasilevskaya is flying under an intergovernmental agreement between Roscosmos and Belarus to conduct experiments on behalf of Belarus researchers. On April 6th, they will depart in the Soyuz MS-25 spacecraft that is attached to the Rosviet module on the space-facing side, also on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. O'Hara will be departing on April 6th with them, and they will be heading for a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan on April 6th. For O'Hara, it will be the completion of a 204-day mission aboard the International Space Station. Novitsky and Vasilevskaya will have spent 12 days in space. Novitsky began the mission to the International Space Station on Saturday. On this, his fourth flight into space, already having accrued 531 days in space, which is now 533 days of an aggregate total. We're about 21 minutes away from the fly around by the Soyuz of the International Space Station. Again, this will be about a 51-degree fly around to precisely align the Soyuz with the docking port on the Prishal module, the node module that is attached to the multi-purpose laboratory module on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
Station Moscow, we have one for Nikolai regarding the recording activation.
This is the view of the control panel in the Soyuz MS-25 spacecraft, a brief view of some of the telemetry that Novitsky, Dyson, and Vasilevskaya are looking at in the descent module of the three-section Soyuz spacecraft. Novitsky is Soyuz commander, flying under the call sign of Kazbeki, which is named after a mountain range in Russia. He is in the center seat of the descent module, flanked to his right by Dyson and to his left by Vasilevskaya.
Range is now 7 kilometers.
Soyuz is 7 kilometers away from the International Space Station, closing in perfect fashion right now for what is expected to be an on-time docking about 43 minutes from now. A short time ago, the Corps' automated rendezvous system on both the Soyuz, which is the active system, and on the Zvezda service module, which is the passive system, This is the automated rendezvous system, basically radio beacon capability that bounces signals back and forth to update the Soyuz computers with the best navigational data that is available on the range of the Soyuz to its destination on the Prishal module and the rate of closure. All of those tests went by the books. The Corps' automated system is what will guide the Soyuz for an automated docking to the Prishal module. If in the unlikely event there's a problem with Corps, it will fault over to Novitsky, who will fly the Soyuz in manually for a docking. But so far, the Corps is hanging in good shape, as it usually does, with no issues being reported. All of the other Soyuz systems are in perfect shape.
Дальность 6 километров, скорость минус 9.
Moscow ISS, the recording is on. Copy, thank you.
Range is 6 kilometers, range rate -9.
You are continuing to hear the updates from the interpreter who is speaking, listening to the Russian flight controllers in Korolev, updating Novitsky and his crewmates on their distance from the International Space Station and rate of closure, as they are now within 9 kilometers of the Prishal module for a link-up that is scheduled for 10:09 a.m. Central Time, 11:09 a.m. Eastern Time. Once again, after the docking is completed and we have a hard mate, the crews on both sides of the docking interface will conduct leak checks before the small passageway or vestibule between Soyuz and Prishal is pressurized. That will be the precursor to the opening of the hatches between the two vehicles, allowing Dyson, Novitsky, and Vasilevskaya to float aboard the International Space Station. Dyson will remain on board the station until September, when she returns home on Soyuz MS-25 with Oleg Kononenko and Nikolai Chub, who will be wrapping up a year-long mission on the orbital complex.
Station, Moscow, space to ground 1,
-8 and 7 is rate, and range is 800 copy.
Ожидаем дальность 2,5 километра.
Go ahead.
Standing by for the parameters from the distance of 2.5 kilometers. Copy.
Command radio link is active. Please perform step 2.2 in message 306. Copy.
Again, this view of some of the telemetry on the onboard displays on the Soyuz MS-25.
-8.7.
The Soyuz closing at a rate of about 8.7 meters per second, right on the money.
Visual of the ISS.
And the Soyuz crew now reporting it can see the International Space Station out its windows.
Very poor comm. Standing by for the maneuver, and we didn't hear the end of the statement. Yes. Monitor the direction in which the station is. And yes, we're standing by for the burn.
Are you seeing the screen number 44
4 kilometers range.
Yes, we're seeing the screen.
Range rate, -8.
We are fine with it at this point, and hopefully you are fine with it too. Yes, I am fine. Just wanted to make sure it is okay for you. Yes, thank you.
The International Space Station and Soyuz currently flying 260 miles above the Earth, passing over Brazil just to the west of Sao Paulo, moving from southwest to northeast at an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. We're about 37 minutes away from the Soyuz docking to the Prishal module, which is on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
3.6 range. Range rate, -8.6.
And this view at the very right-hand side of your screen shows the multi-hatched bulbous Prishal node module. That is the port of call for the Soyuz MS-25. That's the docking port to which the Soyuz will link up to about 36.5 minutes from now.
Range 3300. Range rate, -8.5. Copy.
Дальность 3 километра, скорость...
3 kilometers, -8.4 is the rate.
3 kilometers now separating Soyuz from the station, closing at a rate of 8 meters per second. During the terminal phase of the approach for contact and capture, the rate of closure for the Soyuz spacecraft will slow to a very, very, very glacial 1/10 of a meter per second.
Station Chiefs on Fisher on 1 for Jeanette and PWD. Hey Jeanette, just want to let you guys know PWD is going to be unavailable for about
Maneuver in progress.
15 minutes from now, so you guys want to pull up.
Copy, we're monitoring.
PWD. I suggest you guys do it too. We will be taking it offline in 5 minutes from now, and it will be down for 2 hours. Sorry, correction, 15 minutes, my mistake.
This is Mission Control Houston. You're continuing to see views from external cameras on the International Space Station. And there's our first view of the Soyuz MS-25 as the station and the Soyuz pass off the north coast of South America, now about to fly over the South Atlantic, as we are about 34 minutes away from docking. So far, all of the rendezvous burns have been executed in perfect fashion, all of the Soyuz systems in good shape, everything on track for the arrival of Tracy Dyson, Oleg Novitsky, and Marina Vasilevskaya on time, following their 2-day journey off the launch pad at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. The Soyuz just completed what is called an impulse foreburn using its main engine. About a 16-second firing, a fine tuning of the course correction, basically refining the Soyuz path to the station, this occurring at a range of about 2 kilometers.
The duration is 13 seconds, 1-3. Copy all, thank you.
Так, наблюдаю станцию ВСК.
I have visual of the station on OSK.
Есть ЛСК, есть обобщенная ГСО.
Common GSO confirmed. OSK confirmed.
76.
Working for page 76.
1,8, скорость
Range 1.8. Rate minus 4.3. Negative 4.3. Continue monitoring the motion. Keep reporting.
Принял.
Copy.
Flying 260 miles over the South Atlantic, a good view of the Soyuz MS-25. About 7.5 minutes away from beginning its fly-around in the neighborhood of the International Space Station to align its forward docking probe with the Prishal node module on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the complex.
Negative 4.0.
Docking now scheduled about 31.5 minutes from now. The fly-around by the Soyuz will start at a range of about 400 meters, again about a 51-degree fly-around that will precisely align the forward docking probe with Prishal. That is the multi-hatched bulbous docking module that is mounted atop the Nyoka multipurpose laboratory module.
Range 1280, range negative 4. Oleg, please send the command inaudible. I couldn't copy you. I need to zoom in. Yes, please zoom in. Send the command. It's done. Excellent. We can see you again. Range 1,500. Range rate negative 4.6.
1,500 meters now separating Soyuz from the station, closing at a rate of 4 meters per second. Again, that rate will slow down as planned to enable not only the fly-around, but a very, very brief period of station keeping, allowing the Russian flight controllers in Korolyov to assess the alignment of the forward docking probe with Prishal before the final command is issued for terminal approach and contact and capture.
Продолжается работа ДПО.
Depot is still firing. Range 940. Range rate negative 2.5.
941 meters now separating the two craft, closing at a rate of just under 4 meters per second. Once again, the population of the space station will increase from 7 to 10 with the arrival today of Dyson, Novitsky, and Vasilevskaya for the next 12 days until Novitsky and Vasilevskaya depart in Soyuz MS-24 on April 6th with NASA astronaut Laurel O'Hara headed for a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan.
Would you like to see ECG mode? Yes. Send the command just one time. Copy.
Soyuz and the station approaching the west coast of Africa.
Send Romeo 5 command once. And you can rotate again. 700 meters, range rate -2.4, and close it.
About 3.5 minutes away from the start of the fly-around by the Soyuz.
Fired. Copy. $7:42:12, depot off, OFF.
And the Impulse 6 burn, again a small firing by the Soyuz thrusters of about 12 seconds in duration. Impulse 6 again fine-tunes the Soyuz path to the station, a pre-planned burn. The International Space Station has maneuvered into the docking orientation. All systems are in great shape to receive the Soyuz MS-25. That should have been the final mid-course correction burn.
Range rate -1.6 and closing.
1.5 meters per second is the closure rate.
Дальность
500 meters, range rate -1.6.
Дальность 460.
Range 460. Range rate -1.5 and closing.
Дальность 420.
420 meter, the range rate -1.4, closing. Copy.
And this view from the external cross-haired engineering camera on the Soyuz MS-25, a great view of the International Space Station. The Soyuz now has begun its fly-around of the station. You can see in the lower left-hand corner, the two values at the very bottom are the distance, 375, 374 meters, separating Soyuz from the station, and the closure rate of 1.1 meters per second.
Дальность 360.
360 meters. -0.9 is the range rate. Copy.
Soyuz and its three passengers, Oleg Novitsky, the Soyuz commander, NASA's Tracy Dyson, and Belarus spaceflight participant Marina Vasilevskaya on course, on time, for an expected docking about 23.5 minutes from now. We've passed out of range between satellites on our tracking and data relay satellite system. We'll regain that downlink video capability a short time from now.
Дальность 300, скорость
300 meters.
And we're now back with our downlink television from the space station, looking square on to the Soyuz MS-25. The station and the Soyuz flying 260 statute miles over Morocco, just south of Casablanca.
Дальность
280 meters separating the two vehicles. The fly-around is continuing, closing at a rate of 0.6 of a meter per second.
Дальность 260.
Range 260, rate 0.5.
And back with a view of the Soyuz from external cameras on the International Space Station. The fly around of about 51 degrees underway. If required, there'll be a very brief period of station keeping where the Soyuz will halt its approach to the station, allowing a brief period of analysis by the Russian flight controllers in Korolyov before the command is given to press ahead for final approach, contact, and capture.
140, rate 0.35 and closing. Copy. Range 230, rate 0.24 and closing. Copy.
Station Houston on Safety Ground 1 for shutters and PWD last call.
Так, курс перешел в причал. Олег, также
Курс
контролируйте загорание
причал.
транспаранта К-15.
Monitor parameters in advance.
Подтверждаю, курс перешел в причал.
Yes.
К-15 пока
Курс причал.
217, скорость
Range 217. Range rate 0.17 and closing.
Soyuz right on the money during its fly around.
K-15 причал. Executed. Roll maneuver.
Олег, ожидаем за...
Oleg, stand by for Zavcon.
Принял, ожидаем Завкон.
Copy. Standing by for Zavcon.
Aboard that vehicle you're looking at, the Soyuz MS-25, NASA's Tracy Dyson, Soyuz Commander Oleg Novitsky, and Marina Vasilevskaya, about 19 minutes away from reaching their destination following what so far has been a flawless two-day journey since their launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on Saturday.
Monitor Bruce and turn on Parus.
Вас понял.
Copy.
Так, есть Завкон.
Zavcon confirmed.
Включаем подсветку ВСК.
Turning on VSK backlight. Copy.
And at a range of about 175 meters, the Soyuz now has begun a very, very brief period of station keeping.
Включаем фару.
Turning floodlights on.
Фара включена.
Floodlight is on. Copy. Oleg, and you can send reach out command, final approach command from the rendezvous screen. Copy. I'm setting up the screen.
And the command has been issued to initiate final approach. All of the Soyuz systems in excellent shape. This again is an automated approach. Soyuz being guided into the Prishal node module under the guidance of the Core's automated rendezvous system. Soyuz and the station flying over northern Italy, about to cross the Adriatic Sea.
Can I send command from the rendezvous display? 1752-34. Причал or final approach command is sent. Copy. Depot firing confirmed. Gaining. Copy. Monitor the final approach process.
Final approach underway. The Soyuz flying over the mountainous terrain of Croatia.
Copy. Range 170, range
170 meters separating from Soyuz from the Prishal node module. Everything in order. If we proceed as planned, currently on final approach, we should be docking a few minutes early.
Range 145, range rate 0.8. The docking port is in the center. Copy. All copy.
This view from the Soyuz, now over Russian ground stations. From the external cross-haired engineering camera, the distance in the lower left-hand corner you see at about 125 meters, closing at a rate of about 0.6 of a meter per second. Looking down the barrel of the Prishal node module.
Target is in the center, angular size. Matches the range. Range 100, range rate 0.53. The target is by 0.5 degrees to the right.
100 meters separating Soyuz from the station. Everything is nominal. Soyuz operating flawlessly. The station systems in good shape, ready to accept the arrival of the new crew.
0.4 and closing. The target is in the middle, in the center. Range 82, range rate 0.4. A target is practically in the center.
The course is operating perfectly. The docking target almost in the middle of those crosshairs. It will align so that the docking target just below the docking port itself should be in the center of those crosshairs. 70 meters now separating Soyuz and Prishal.
Range rate 0.35 and closing. Angular size matches the range. range 61 meters. The range rate is negative 0.27. The target is inaudible.
If you're just joining us, you're looking at video from the Soyuz MS-25 as it is now on final approach for a docking to the Prishal node module on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station, just 50 meters separating Soyuz from Prishal, with NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson, Soyuz commander Oleg Novitsky of Roscosmos, and spaceflight participant Marina Vasilevskaya of Belarus just minutes away from arriving at the International Space Station.
The display is selected. All LEDs are illuminated. Ready for the station keeping command. Range. The target is in the center. Crosshairs aligned.
Range is 30. Target is in the center.
Less than 30 meters separating Soyuz from the station. The Soyuz, with one final refinement of its alignment for the docking target that you see just below the crosshairs.
Range is now 20 meters. Target is in the center. Crosshairs are aligned. We have the AR parameter. Copy.
Less than 20 meters now separating the two vehicles. All of the systems in good shape.
Target
edging in at a rate of 1/10 of a meter per second.
Lower. Crosshairs are aligned. Target is to the right, half a degree, and the crosshairs are aligned. Range is 10 meters. Crosshairs are aligned.
Less than 10 meters separating Soyuz from the station. Good range, good rate of closure. Standing by for contact and capture.
6 meters. Target is in the center. Crosshairs are aligned.
Мишень практически в центре. Так, ожидаем касания.
Standing by for contact.
Касание, индикатор жениха, средняя сцепка есть.
And we have contact and we have capture.
Capture confirmed.
Docking confirmed at 10:03 a.m. Central Time, 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time, as Soyuz and the International Space Station flew 260 miles over central Kazakhstan. The Monday morning commute of Tracy Dyson, Oleg Novitsky, and Marina Vasilevskaya successfully completed. And the docking probe on Soyuz has now begun to retract.
Отключаем фару S-18.
Deactivating the light.
Фара выключена.
Light is off, OFF. And closing the RPV-1 valve.
Вас понял.
Once again, Dyson, Novitsky, and Vasilevskaya have arrived at the International Space Station with a flawless docking at 10:03 a.m. Central Time, 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time.
18:04:15 запущен разовый контроль отсеков.
And at 18:04:15, we started the automatic monitoring of
в БО 801, в приборном отсеке 832.
And the pressure measurements, please report. Yes, in SR descent module, the pressure is 8 to 9. In orbital module, BO, the pressure is 801. And in the
post-contact systems checks being performed by Soyuz Commander Oleg Novitsky, as you see the view of the front screen in the International Space Station Flight Control Room at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow.
Разрешите отключить телевидение формата ТВС.
Do we have a go to deactivate the video mode after the test is complete? Yes, you have a go. And now you are working for page 81. Just a reminder. Yes, copy.
The docking probe has retracted, enabling the two docking interfaces between Soyuz and the station to be flush against one another. This will begin the initiation of the closing of the hooks. The hooks are now powered on, ready to clamp around one another. First, the Soyuz hooks will be closed, followed by the Prishal hooks to form a hard mate between the two vehicles.
Oleg, perform the mating and. You mean I do not have to stand by for the time that's in RODF? That is correct. And S13 command, you have to send it one more time after the indicator is illuminated. Yes, I sent the Sierra 13 command one time already, and now indicator is illuminated. Yes, and now
station, space to ground 1.
Send the command again, S13, Sierra 13.
And now word received that the Soyuz hooks have closed.
And now
electrical connections between Soyuz and the station have been completed.
And so on, the hooks opening. Yes, that is correct. The rest of commanding you can do exactly as per RODF. And you can give us the pressure readings again, please, every 5 minutes. Copy. No. 2 more seconds remaining.
Давление ВСА 824, в бытовом отсеке 801, в приборном 832.
The pressure in the descent module is 824, orbital module 801. In the instrumentation compartment, the pressure is 832. Copy.
The Prishal node module hooks now driving. They should be closed a moment or two from now.
And then 82. And next pressure measurement is in 10 minutes. Copy.
Moscow station on space to ground 1. How do you copy? Go ahead, have you loud and clear.
Inaudible.
Finally. Sergey, the hooks
now
are driving.
The D13 command.
Copy, hooks driving. You're seeing this on the node module.
Latches extended.
Correct? Affirmative.
I have the indicator illuminated that latches are retracted.
And I see the indication of the hooks driving.
And D11,
please report when the hooks
retracted.
will be in the closed position per the indication. And what about operations per the
Yes, probe retracted
radiogram?
indicator is illuminated. And SS web pair indicator is
Oleg, you had a dropout.
Illuminated.
This is Nikolai. The question is about radiogram 9999. Do I have a go to perform closeout ops?
Transfer system indicator.
Affirmative. Copy and work. Sergey, the screen indication. Hooks are closed. Interface is closed. Transfer hatch cover closed. Copy. Thank you.
Пока делаем
So I am
And
going
right
to
now you
close
can fill
the
out the log on both
Got a message.
input
Attention.
panels.
A spacecraft has docked. Well, that's a good indication. Thank you.
This is Mission Control Houston, awaiting the final confirmation of the closure of the Prishal node module hooks. The Soyuz hooks already closed at the docking interface.
Олег, пока ожидаем АКГ 15 минут. Только после этого продолжим.
Oleg, we need to stand by now for 15 minutes.
Еще раз, ожидаем АКГ 15 минут, верно?
Да, все верно. И потом работаем по...
You said stand by for 15 minutes. This is correct. Standing by for leak check.
This is Mission Control Houston. We now have confirmation that the Prishal node module hooks have closed, and so we have a hard mate between the newly arrived Soyuz MS-25 spacecraft and the Prishal node module of the International Space Station. Docking occurred at 10:03 a.m. Central Time, 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time, bringing to a flawless close the two-day journey of NASA's Tracy Dyson, Soyuz Commander Oleg Novitsky of Roscosmos, and spaceflight participant Marina Vasilevskaya of Belarus. They began their journey with their launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on Saturday morning, a 34-orbit two-day journey that culminated with their link-up to the station following a perfect, flawless journey. All of the rendezvous burns were executed as planned, no issues on final approach. Again, docking occurring at 10:03 a.m. Central Time, 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time. With the hooks now having closed, the leak checks will commence on both sides of the docking interface by the Soyuz crew and the station crew before the hatches are scheduled to open around 2.5 hours from now. So with that, we'll wrap up our coverage for now and let you know that we'll be back on the air at 12:15 p.m. Central Time, 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time for an expected hatch opening at 1:40 p.m. Eastern Time that will bring temporarily for the next 12 days the station's population to 10 crew members on board. So following a uneventful and successful rendezvous and docking by Soyuz, Dyson, Novitsky, and Vasilevskaya have arrived at the International Space Station. We'll be back in just a couple of hours with hatch opening coverage here on NASA television. Until then, we'll sign off for now. This is Mission Control Houston.
So space, night, death, darkness, not being there is an essential component of being there. You don't have the one without the other. That's the way being is made up.
Vasilevskaya, of course, flying as a spaceflight participant under an intergovernmental agreement between Roscosmos and Belarus, is a first-time flyer. She and Novitsky will be on board the station for 12 days and will be returning to Earth with Laurel O'Hara, who you see in this field of view on the left side of your screen, on April 6th for a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan to wrap up for O'Hara 204 days in space.
Oleg,
is the pressure stabilized?
And a quick view of the newly arrived Soyuz MS-25 attached to the Prishal node module on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. Again, that's Soyuz arriving at 10:03 a.m. Central Time, 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time, after a perfect rendezvous and docking to the Prishal module. Greeting the Soyuz crew members, along with Kononenko, is Roscosmos cosmonauts Nikolai Chub and Alexander Grabenkin, NASA astronauts Matt Dominic, Mike Barrett, Jeanette Epps, and Laurel O'Hara. Kononenko, the Expedition 70 commander, who's right at that hatchway, is the record holder for most days in space by any human being, and on June 4th will pass the 1,000-day mark in space on this, his fifth flight into space. Again, we're standing by for the opening of the Soyuz hatch. The hatch on the station side of the docking interface between Soyuz and Prishal is open, as you can see. And right behind that Soyuz hatch, Tracy Dyson, Marina Vasilevskaya, and Soyuz Commander Oleg Novitsky.
Олег, какого?
Oleg, please report the pressure now.
The Oleg that is being referred to through the interpreter from Mission Control outside of Moscow is to Oleg Novitsky on the Soyuz side of the docking interface as they complete some final pressure checks per the procedures before that hatch will swing open, allowing the three newly arrived crew members to float on board.
Олег.
Oleg,
Какое у вас давление?
what is the pressure now?
Сейчас, секунду, я звук отключал.
Stand by, please. I had the sound off.
Так, 737.
737.
Принято.
Copy.
Again, if you're just joining us, you're looking at the Expedition 70 crew in the Prishal node module of the International Space Station. Oleg Kononenko, the increment commander, is at the hatchway, joined by his other crewmates, about to greet Tracy Dyson, Oleg Novitsky, and Marina Vasilevskaya. Once that hatch is open, the three newly arrived crew members will float on board. It's been a little over 2 hours since they docked to Prishal at 10:03 a.m. Central Time, 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time. The 10 crew members will gather in the Zvezda service module for welcoming remarks that will be provided by dignitaries at the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov and by spacecraft communicator Kosta Mavridis here in Mission Control in Houston. They then will participate in a routine safety briefing that is typical for all newly arrived crew members before moving into a few final activities for the day. The Soyuz crew members will deactivate the Soyuz systems now that it is receiving power from the space station for the duration of its stay on board. That Soyuz MS-25 will be the ride home in September for Kononenko, Chub, and Tracy Dyson. Kononenko and Chub will be wrapping up a year-long mission aboard the station. Dyson will come home in September after a 6-month mission.
Vacuum pressure gauge. Okay.
Novitsky and Vasilevskaya will be returning home in 12 days with Laurel O'Hara of NASA, who will complete 204 days on the International Space Station. That trio will come home to a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan on Saturday, April 6th.
Принято.
Copy.
Игнат, может быть, советское
Ignat,
положение минимум, а то есть температура уже замучилась.
maybe I can put the switch for cooling and drying in minimum position.
Да, можно, Олег.
Will you object to that? No, we do not object to that. You have a go, Oleg.
Так, установил КР-2, положение минимум.
KR2 valve on the cooling and drying unit is now in minimum position.
Today's arrival of the Soyuz MS-25 and its crew members comes just 48 hours after the docking of the SpaceX Dragon cargo craft on the 30th commercial resupply mission to the station. The Dragon carrying some 3 tons of supplies and scientific experiments to the complex. The hatch was opened Saturday afternoon. Some of the critical cargo was unloaded over the weekend. The crew continuing to unload that cargo ship, which will spend about 5 weeks attached to the International Space Station.
BOSU hatch cover manually. Copy. And as soon as you open the hatch, please stay in communication with us. Copy, will do.
Пообниматься ни с кем нельзя.
We're looking forward to lots of hugging.
Так. Олег, я тогда тебе просто наперед говорю, что надо будет тебе после открытия люка
after you open the hatch, you have to deactivate all the COM assets, remove the extension cable, put on the cap, cover the SU, and on NPU, select the KSPL display on NPU 1 and 2.
Да, хорошо.
Soyuz Commander Oleg Novitsky wrapping up the configuration of a couple of the Soyuz systems as we stand by for the opening of the hatch to Soyuz and the entrance into the station of NASA's Tracy Dyson, Novitsky, and spaceflight participant Marina Vasilevskaya of Belarus. And the pressure now equalized between Soyuz and the station, so we should be seeing that hatch swing open any moment now.
Are you ready? Ladies. Ну давай, Марина, ты заходи.
Okay, come in.
Помню, куда ты его положила.
And the Soyuz hatch open at 12:26 p.m. Central Time, 1:26 p.m. Eastern Time, as the station and Soyuz flew 260 miles over the South Pacific.
Come here.
Marina Vasilevskaya first in. There is Tracy Dyson of NASA entering the station for the third time.
Everything's going well.
Soyuz Commander Oleg Novitsky now in. So, 2 hours and 23 minutes after docking, the station's population has swelled to 10 crew members.
Down here.
Ignat.
Ignat?
Да, на связи.
Go ahead.
На связи.
Yes, go ahead.
Слушай, у нас здесь уже эта конференция видео.
The PO event is coming soon.
Moscow Station, space to ground 2. Go ahead.
So how do you think I should deal with this?
Okay, so I can hear Oleg is talking to you. Why don't you let him go? We'll do the critic and then we'll do the conference. Okay, sounds good. We'll do the general debrief and then the commander will do his part.
Okay, let me turn off the comm.
Once again, the hatch to Soyuz opened at 12:26 p.m. Central Time. 1:26 p.m. Eastern Time, Tracy Dyson, Marina Vasilevskaya, Oleg Novitsky now on board the complex.
Go ahead. How critical is it to finish everything in the Soyuz prior to the PAO event? Okay, do the PAO event first, and then go back to the Soyuz.
Big smile from Tracy Dyson. The crew will be gathering momentarily in the Zvezda service module for welcoming remarks from dignitaries gathered on the balcony at the Russian Mission Control Center outside Moscow and from spacecraft communicator Kosta Mavridis here in Mission Control in Houston.
I'm going to check on your side now. Moscow Station on space to ground 2. Go ahead on space to ground 2. This is Nikolai. So I am deactivating the camera in yes, your go, and activate it in SM. Copy.
And there's a view from the balcony camera in the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov. Again, the crew is on board. They'll be conducting a welcoming ceremony, if you will, along with welcoming remarks from both Moscow and here in Houston before pressing ahead with the rest of their workday, which will include a safety briefing for the crew members on board. That is typical. And then a few other activities associated with deactivating Soyuz systems, drying out their Sokol launch and entry suits that they rode this morning to a textbook rendezvous and docking to the station, with docking occurring at 10:03 a.m. Central Time, 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time. This is Mission Control Houston, a view of the newly arrived Soyuz MS-25 spacecraft attached to the Prashal node module. As the station flies 260 miles over the South Pacific, it was a flawless rendezvous and docking just about 2.5 hours ago, and with no issues associated with any systems on the Soyuz or the station. Leak checks were conducted. The vestibule, the passageway, if you will, between Soyuz and Prashal was pressurized, leading to the opening of the hatch just a few minutes ago at 12:26 p.m. Central, 1:26 p.m. Eastern Time. The 10 crew members now in the process of gathering in the Zvezda service module for welcoming remarks.
Супорский канал СГ-1.
Связи СГ-1.
Go ahead.
Сергей, мы готовы, мы все в СМ. Вы нас в 6С не видите, не слышите?
Sergey, we are in SM, all of us together. So you do you see us or hear? Well, yeah, actually we are receiving the video via SSS now.
У нас пока шахматная доска цветная.
We just have the setting screen, seeing the squares on the screen. Both cameras are on. Sounds good?
Ты скажешь, когда тебя в 6С вызвать?
Please tell us when you will be ready and we will be able to use the mic. Yes, of course, we will do that.
Давай, мы в ожидании.
Yes, we are standing by.
So we are standing by for the beginning of the welcoming remarks, and in front, of course, you see Tracy Dyson, Oleg Novitsky, and Marina Vasilevskaya.
Москва СГ-1, видим балкон.
Moscow Station on Space Ground 1, we are seeing the guys on the balcony at MCC Moscow. Copy.
Принято. Попробуйте еще раз 6С, Олег. Попробуй 6С еще.
Oleg, try again to call us via SSS.
Нет, пока не слышно микрофон.
No, unfortunately, we cannot hear you via mic. 1, 2, 3, how do you copy me on SSS?
Юрий Павлович, как слышите нас?
Yuri
Yuri
Pavlovich, how can you
Pavlovich,
hear
how do you
us?
copy us?
Hello, guys. We are so glad to see you all in great health and in good spirits. And we have a wonderful half of our crew. We have our US crew members, everyone on the Russian segment, Nikolai, Alexander, Oleg. So we have arrived, not from the first attempt, but we are here. We did a good job. We had a good mission. And today, the entire crew worked wonderfully. We are so happy to see everyone. And until April 6th, you won't have too much time. You have a very intense schedule. But hopefully, you'll get along very well together. I will not take too much of your time. And I'll just pass the mic to the other speaker. Good morning. Hello, friends. Marina, Oleg, Tracy, and the rest of the crew, our dear American colleagues. We are so happy to see you. We are happy to see you smile. You've done great. All the ground support crew is so proud of you. You've done a great job. And now, with those smiling, happy faces, you're right here in front of us. We wish you a great stay on board the International Space Station. We hope that it is comfortable for you, that you enjoy it, that you make new friends. You are a great team, and you're all great. I want to say a lot of things, but I'm kind of left speechless by the whole awesomeness of you. Marina, welcome aboard. We are so proud of you being here. It is our pride and joy to have you on board the International Space Station. All the best to you, and we will be supporting you from the ground. You'll be in space, and we'll be on the ground giving you all of our support. And hopefully we'll have another chance to speak while you're on the station. All the best to you. Tracy, Marina, Oleg, and others, I am so glad to see you on board the International Space Station. We were all keeping our fingers crossed for you. And when we saw you on board, Marina, you opened the door to Belarus to be in space. So have a great and safe mission. Enjoy your work. Enjoy your time off. We are so proud of you. The whole people of Belarus is proud of you. Hello, all. Hello, can you hear us? Yes. Do you know who is speaking to you? Have you recognized my voice? Well, we see you actually. All of you. We are so happy that you're here supporting us. Hopefully, we didn't make you wait for too long. A couple of days, right? Well, we are so happy that you've made it to the station. We were kind of worried. So why are you not holding any tigers here? Well, apparently we're supposed to bring tigers. Well, you are here with Ellen. So we would like to offer our congratulations to you from all of us with the successful trip to the International Space Station. You've made it, and we are so happy for you. It is just incredible joy that we are here and we have an opportunity to talk to you. Thank you so very much.
If you would like, we can translate it.
Нам переводчик не нужен, все очень хорошо знают.
We don't need an interpreter here. Everyone knows Russian pretty well amongst us.
Тогда передаю брату трубку.
Well then, let me pass the mic to the brother. Well, hello, friends. I offer my congratulations to all of you with arrival to the International Space Station. It is a great holiday in Belarus today. We've been on rooting for Marina, and we are so happy that this historic event has finally occurred. We wish you all to have a great time on board the station, have a successful mission, and when you are back to the ground, we will be waiting for you in the big Moscow circus with all your families. So all the best to you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Ivan Nikolaevich. Can someone else hear us? I don't know. I think that the MCC Moscow hears us. Ivan Nikolaevich, I'm so happy that Belarus has made it safely and soundly to the International Space Station. It took us 2 days, but we are in great spirits, and I'm super happy that it went this way. I loved all of the aspects of it. So we've arrived to the stars. We are so happy that you are supporting us. It's a great pleasure to us, and it brings strength to us. Thank you very much for being here supporting us.
Is there an interpreter?
I don't know.
Только по-английски, but
I will be speaking English.
To be here, and we are so grateful for everybody that has helped us get to this point, both through training and execution. And it's great to see all of you sitting there, and we look forward to executing this mission together. Thanks.
Очень приятно видеть вас.
Well, we are so happy to see you. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here, talking to us. Nikolai, Oleg, and all the rest of the crew, you guys have a very intense work schedule, so all the best. We will not keep you waiting, so have a great day. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Houston Station on ISS.
And station, this is Houston. We have a few words from the Houston team. Oleg, welcome back to your second home. We are happy to see you on the station once again.
Oleg, welcome back to your second home.
I've joined a special group of individuals. Enjoy the experience, and may you inspire more people to do amazing things.
Enjoy the experience, and may you inspire more people to do amazing things.
Tracy, it's so great to see your smiling face back on ISS. Everyone here in Houston, including your family and friends in the viewing room, are beaming with pride watching the screen. I'm honored to represent so many folks who care deeply about you and say welcome back to the ISS. Your dedication and hard work is steadfast, and even through the surprises that come your way, but we know that difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. On behalf of the console team, increment team, and your training team, congratulations on your launch and docking to one of the one-of-a-kind International Space Station.
Congratulations on your launch and docking to one of the one-of-a-kind International Space Station.
Kostya, thank you so much for those words, and thank you for everyone there in Mission Control in Houston, the flight control team, the team in the back room, and everybody there in the viewing room. This has been an incredible journey, one that we weren't quite expecting to last so long in free flight, but we're grateful for the time together because we know now that we're here, we're going to get started with some work. So it's great to be here. It's great to be working with all of you, and we're just thankful for all of your support.
See you guys up there. Enjoy your night. Bye, guys.
This is Mission Control Houston. 2 days behind schedule, but beaming nonetheless. NASA's Tracy Dyson, Soyuz Commander Oleg Novitsky, and Belarus spaceflight participant Marina Vasilevskaya receiving well wishes and greetings from officials at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow, as well as from spacecraft communicator Kosta Mavridis here in Mission Control in Houston. The hatch between the Soyuz and the station opened at 12:26 p.m. Central Time, 1:26 p.m. Eastern Time, allowing the 3 newly arrived crew members to come on board. For Dyson, the beginning of a 6-month mission aboard the International Space Station. For Novitsky and Vasilevskaya, a 12-day sojourn that will result in their undocking on April 6th in a different Soyuz, the Soyuz MS-25, along with NASA's Laurel O'Hara, to bring her home after 204 days in space. So to recap, it just couldn't have been more smooth if it tried, as the Soyuz eased its way into the Prishal docking module port at 10:03 a.m. Central Time, 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time, to complete a 2-day journey that followed a launch abort last Thursday and then a successful launch on Saturday from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. So with the welcoming remarks now having been completed, the crew will press ahead to a safety briefing. They will deactivate Soyuz systems and get on with the rest of their day and the rest of their joint mission aboard the International Space Station. That will wrap up our coverage for today. Dyson, Novitsky, and Vasilevskaya safely aboard the International Space Station. Thanks for watching throughout the course of the day today. This is Mission Control Houston.